Welcome and thank you for being here. I'm Sergio Lopez and I will present you my master thesis about gamification brainstorming for dynamic classroom. So first I will talk about a summary of this project. I had the opportunity to conduct research about gamified elements that could bring something valuable inside an application. And then we have tested this element with a small group of participants for initial feedback. So just for your knowing, I will explain two key elements. The first one is the brainstorming. So I will talk a lot with brainstorming. There is a few ways to do brainstorming. The way I will use is this one in the picture. So the first phase is the ideation, is when you generate ID. Then you have sorting phase, when you sort the ID in small groups. Then you can, in the categorization phase, it's when you name your groups. Then you have the voting phase for voting on the better ID and the results. All this phase is inside the application, and also for the gamification. Gamification elements come from games like RPG games, video games, etc. And these elements can be added to any applications. But the purpose of these applications is just for adding some help or for helping the user inside the applications. So for the context, the first goal that we want to do is energizing classrooms. And for that, this project is a follow-up of another. The first version of this project was only the application that can do the session of brainstorming. And then what we want is added gamification elements inside this application. Just the first version is only the application online can do some brainstorming online. There is some gamification inside, like trophies, point and the ranking, for example. And yeah, we need more gamification elements inside. So this was the context. The target issue for my project was the user management. So the first version has no user management, and we added this functionality for store some data about users. And also we want to reduce competition, because when you have a ranking system inside an application, there is also competition. And also added some creativity, interactivity, and user experience elements inside the new version of the application. So this is all the elements that we have had to the old application, and I will show you for each what it's like inside the application. So first, this is the functionality about session, trophy score, and history. So this was the first version of the application. This is very simple. You just need to add the code on the room and your name. And this is the new version. So we have something like on the right, top right, like statistic with the score of the total score of all of your sessions that it saw, and also the number of ID you generate, and the trophy that you unlocked at least once. Then you have something for login, so every user is inside a class, and you choose your user, and you can choose also an avatar. Next, I will talk about the progress bar. So this one was the old version, and on the right you can see there is a race track, and all the people race on each other, and there is also some competitivity. So we want to erase this race, and we added a progress bar. That's all the ID from all the participants increase the same progress bar to a goal that the moderator can set. And yeah, you can see there is some bronze, silver, color, and then if you hit the 100%, it's gold. Now we'll talk about the suggestion system. So the suggestion system will help people or users that have no ID during the iteration phase. So how I did this is when everyone can generate ID, and this is the people that don't generate around 1 minute, that don't have generate ID, a pop-up will pop with the last ID generated from the others, and that can increase the creativity of the user that have no ID, for example. Next, I will talk about the trophy that I have had. So I have two types of trophy. The three first is the trophy from the progress bar. So when you hit the gold tier or the silver bronze tier. Then you have some long-term trophy that we have had because now we have some data storage, so I can add this type of trophy. So when you have, for example, 500 or plus total score, you obtain a trophy for that. Now we talk about the cursor sharing system. So this functionality is on the second phase, when we need to sort the ID generate. And you can see that there is some three cursors here. So the one with the crown is the moderator, and the two other is the user. So everyone can see every one cursor. So it can help, for example, the moderator can, because only the moderator can move the ID and make groups, and that increases the interactivity inside the application. I will also talk about the ranking screen and results. This one is from the old version, and there is all the results inside one view. So you have the best ID on the left, the trophy you score on the right, and also a ranking on the bottom right. And we wanted to change this and two views separate. One is the result of the sessions for more simply for you. For example, we have only the ID from with the votes from the brainstorming session. Then we have also the best category, and on the second view we have the best ID from the user, and also his trophy, his score, his whole data, and the ranking. We have changed the ranking, and only the top 3 user can see his home rank. So it's a better effect for less competitivity. And last functionality that we add is different visual team. So we have had 4 teams that you can choose at the start of the session. There is something like very classic with gray, black and white, a little bit more colorful with some brown, then very colorful with some green and red, and also the classic dark team. Okay, so now we'll talk about the test results that we have done. And we have done 3 sessions of tests with a total of 13 person that answer all the questions from the survey. So we have 1 session with the teacher and 2 sessions with the students. And here are the results. So I don't make long, but you can see, for example, the first question was about the sharing cursor. And you can see that the teacher is lower than the result for the students. It's because on the group from the teacher there was 12 persons, and when you have 12 cursors moving around, it's very messy. So this is something that we can change. And yeah, in the other end, we have some really well good results on the right, with some potential source of motivation that is very high. And also, we asked the teacher about the use of similar tools in teaching, and the results was also very high. So for the conclusion, here are the picture of every element that we have had change, improve, or remove, for example. So we have only removed the race, and all the things was improved or was new. And for the perspective and needs, the first thing we need is further testing, because we don't have any data for the results, for knowing if it's good or not. And also we want further collaboration with school, and also some consistency and usability in the application. So I'm the end of the presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sergio.
Thank you very much, Sergio. I would like to emphasize that this week I used Sergio's application during some of the workshop to find out, because we had to create something like a sales game or gamified product. And people were really happily surprised and enjoyed.
Thank you. Another question or comment? So I have one. The question is, how can you configure it or determine how long you have this ideation phase or not? Because it will require sometimes for the uninspired.
In each session there is a moderator that creates the session. And in this view, when he creates the session, he can set, for example, the goal for the progress bar, but also he can set the time for the ideation phase, and something like that.
So testing now is going to be through some courses or things like that, or
yeah, we work with Stefano for searching some people for the testing.
Is it on a project scale or more like for your own? The same, sorry.
We are looking for funds. So if you have some credits, yeah, we are looking for a grant. We might work with the consortium with HES-SO, and many other HES-SO. Oh, I don't know. Looking for. You know that?
Another question or comment?
Thank you for your presentation. It was very cool. I have a question, because when I was a student, I was pretty bad, and if you ask me to write something on the wall, I would write something that the teacher don't want to see. So how does it bother it? Okay.
Yeah, right now there is no moderation system, but this is something that we can add for the future version. So yeah, now we can do anything about that.
But the teacher knows the name of the student? Oh,
yeah.
so it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well then, thank you.